system you will use every single day in class. And we have been drilled throughout the entire year so far in ISM of using this process and then going back through it again and then trying to modify our products and our projects. So first, you start with ask. You're given a task, you're given a project. Like this. Tristan was just given a task. He has to make a motor, okay? Do you know a whole lot about cars?
I got some knowledge. Yeah.
All right. Well, if you have some knowledge, first you're going to start off with ask. You come up with like 10 to 15 questions, what you need to know, or as many questions as you like, really, about what you need to know about your project. So what kind of motor is it? It's a single-stroke engine, okay? So you need to research, like, what is a single-stroke engine, okay? What are all the components to that engine? Like, what parts do you need to know about, what parts need to move, what parts don't, all those kinds of things. Next, you go to research. So after you have your questions, you research your questions, and you come up with answers for them. You keep it all documented because you're going to need it at some point. Then you go to imagine. For your project specifically, you're going to imagine like what each part is going to look like, how you're going to 3D model it, how it's all going to go together. You kind of need to think of the big picture and how everything kind of pieces together to become one like part or one project. Then you go to plan. So after you have your like imagined design, you have kind of like a rough idea of what you're making. You plan it out. You say, okay, I need to get this part and this part done first because this is like the base. Then I can do all the smaller parts that need to go on top of that. So you kind of plan out like your plan of action of how you're going to go about actually making the part or the product. Then you go to create. Create is where you actually make the parts and you put the product kind of together roughly. And you just see if everything kind of fits together, if everything's like the way that you need it to be. And if not, you test it. Okay? If you test it and it doesn't work the way that you need it to work, then you can go back and you can improve. And then, if you need to ask more questions, you go back and you just go through the entire thing until you have the product that you desire. So that is the engineering design process.
So, what I want to ask, what questions, like how many questions should you start off with?
At least 15.
Yeah, probably. And are they questions you know the answers to?
Absolutely not. If you're asking a question that you already know the answer to, then you are asking the wrong question. You need to ask questions that you have no idea what the answer is. Like if I was going to do this, I don't know a whole lot about cars, I would say, okay, what is this like engine? What is this motor? What are the components? Like all these different things that I don't know. Because if you're just writing down questions for like things that you already know, then you're not actually going to get any research out of it. So, any other questions?
How many different things should you imagine when you do this?
You should have at least 3 different ideas of what your product should be in the end, and depending on your product and how creative you want to get with it, you could do more, but I would say just start with like a base of 3.
And how do you decide which one of those 3 is the best to go forward and make a plan?
You test each one of them. So you design each one of them, you create it, you test it, and then if you need to improve it, then improve it. You do that for every one of them, and you see which one you like the best, which one works the best, which one is all of the things that you need it to be.
Can you decide ahead of time without testing each one of those? Is there any way?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
You can like think that you want one product to be like the one that you're going to go with. Like we did in ISM, we did a rocket project where we had to have a Pringles chip in some kind of little capsule, shoot it in a rocket 100 feet up in the air with only water, by the way, water and pressure. We had to make like a bottle rocket that would go up 100 feet and then bring the chip safely back down. I could not tell you how many times our design changed from what our original design was. Our original design was like a parachute, like a separating capsule, and in the end we ended up with just a solid rocket that just went up and came back down and then just protected the chip. So you might think that you're going to end up with one thing, but you're going to end up with something completely different, I assure you.
How many iterations of your lightsaber have you done?
Way too many.
So
I started, for everybody that doesn't know, last year I took engineering, drawing, and design, and my final project was to create like a lightsaber. And my lightsaber, I kind of took ideas and elements from a bunch of stuff I saw online, and then I kind of designed one. I actually designed 2, and I thought that those 2 were like my main designs. Well, they completely changed throughout the entire process, and I ended up with something completely different and something way better than I thought it would have been. So yeah, definitely take the time to go through each of these steps and improve upon your design because it's going to be better in the end game. So
yeah,
it is the end game though. It is.
Yep. And everybody's going to get something like this. So practice, practice, practice. Do the good stuff now because even though I'm giving you these hard drawings, once you get good at that, that helps you later on when you're doing the other stuff.
And these drawings, you're not gonna get, like, for your final project, you're probably not gonna get something that gives you the directions right in front of you, like, oh, this needs to be this length, and that length, and then you have your product. Now, you're making this up as you go along. So everything that you're doing now is just kind of like grounds to build on top of so that you can do it all on your own and be completely creative with it. Like the lightsaber that I did, I had no dimensions, nothing in front of me. All I knew is that it had to have a metal pipe in the center. So I thought, okay, I have one dimension to work with, build on top of that. And that's what I did.
So it's actually make a light out of it.
Actually, I did go through the process of buying all the parts. I bought the metal pipe that goes inside, I bought all the wiring, I bought the switch, I bought the batteries, and I bought an LED light that goes inside it. And I had it working for a while, but I messed it up and now it's not working. But it did work.
So literally it was like a laser that came out like.
Well, it wasn't like a laser, but it was like a flashlight.
Oh,
But yeah.
It's intense, though. Any questions? Very good.